When it comes to building PCs, especially for resale, I find that hunting for deals that include multiple components or even a complete system at a low price is the quickest and easiest way to acquire all the necessary parts. Recently, I came across a nearly complete PC on Facebook Marketplace, which I believe will yield a good profit once flipped. I snagged the system for just $120, and it included a Ryzen 5 2400G APU, a Gigabyte B350 Gaming 3 motherboard, an ID cooling AIO water cooler, 16GB of red LED Corsair DDR4, a 500GB WD SSD, an EVGA 450W power supply, and a mid ATX case from BGears with 3 ARGB fans and a hub. After thorough thought and inspection, I decided to upgrade my GPU test system by replacing the AMD stock cooler with the AIO water cooler from the Facebook Marketplace find. The AIO cooler appeared nearly new, judging by the cleanliness of the fans. I also opted to repurpose the RGB fans that came with the system for another project and replace them with an alternative set, which I'll discuss later. The initial challenge was deciding on the CPU. While the included Ryzen 5 2400G was functional, it lacked the processing power that I desired. After keeping an eye out on eBay and the local market, I secured a Ryzen 5 1600X for just under $40. This CPU offered more cores, threads, and overall performance than the 2400G. Other similarly performing budget options include the Ryzen 5 1600, 1600AF, 2600, and 2600X. For the 16X build, I swapped in the Wraith Stealth cooler, which will do a good job at cooling the older Ryzen 5. Aside from cleaning the dusty components and the case, I added a 500GB Western Digital hard disk drive for additional game storage costing just $10. To enhance the red and black aesthetic, I invested $20 in 4 affordable red Apivia LED fans, which complemented the overall look. For the GPU, I chose the Black Edition XFX RX 580 8GB purchased a few months ago for $65. While this AMD GPU may have lost future driver support recently, it can still handle modern titles and run older games exceptionally well. In total, I invested about $215 into this system. Calculating the used prices of each component in the bundle allowed me to determine the cost per part, excluding those that I didn't use. If all the components were included, the total cost would be about $260, still providing great overall value. Before listing the system for sale, I ran a few games to assess the performance. The RX 580 has a well-documented level of value and performance within the used segment, and many budget builders are well aware of what it can do. Since this system will be GPU bound in almost any scenario, I felt it necessary to only test a few titles. If you're interested in more information about the RX 580, there are hundreds of more in-depth videos on YouTube that I recommend checking out. First off, I put the system to the test in Fortnite, running it in 1080p with DX12 at the medium quality preset. To my surprise, the performance was remarkably stable during gameplay, yielding frame rates ranging from 90 to 120 FPS in most scenarios. With more competitive settings, this setup proves more than capable of handling Fortnite and other esports titles at high frame rates. Moving on to the demanding Cyberpunk 2077, I set it to 1080p with the low preset and FSR 2.1 set to quality. The in-game benchmark showcased a consistent average of 64 FPS. During actual gameplay, the results mirrored the benchmark, maintaining well over 60 FPS in various situations. For the ultimate challenge, I chose the highly intensive 2023 title Hogwarts Legacy. Running it at 1080p with the high preset and FSR set to quality, I was genuinely impressed with the performance. Despite slightly constrained system memory, the RX 580 delivered a commendable average of approximately 54 FPS in the demanding Hogsmeade Village. Even in areas around and within the castle grounds where the frame rates dipped slightly, I still found it entirely acceptable for an enjoyable playthrough. Overall, this system offers excellent value and some upgradability with the support for newer AM4 Ryzen CPUs such as the Ryzen 5 3600. It performs well in 1080p gaming and should appeal to those seeking a budget-friendly yet capable gaming setup. I plan to sell this PC locally, hoping for a smooth transaction, allowing me to focus on my next build for the channel. Although it's been a busy end of the year with limited uploads, I have exciting projects in the works that I can't wait to share. If you're interested, please consider subscribing and feel free to leave any questions, suggestions, and thoughts in the comments. Thank you.